Hello YouTube. There we have it once more, the open air garage. Hey, and it is an open air, isn't it? It's still early in the season. We're still in the first half of April, but still, I like this day. But she does not. Because I'm about to finish an almost open heart surgery on her. Since my father bought her, he has covered already some 45,000 kilometers, quite a few, for a little old car. But there's some headaches, and I'm about to show you, and I'm going to take you along in my journey to reassemble the whole thing and get everything running again, which I have to do quite urgently because she needs to pass an inspection an annual inspection quite soon. So I don't have lots of weeks to spare, so to say. There we have it, lakes. There was a squeal developing in the engine, somewhere from the engine, this side from the engine, and I couldn't find it. I could not locate it. So I started to rub all the pulleys and whatever that rolls, everything that was there, and it seemed to me that the pulley you see there down there, which is a tensioner pulley for the power steering belt, sorry, was most likely because of the draft. Well, I replaced it, and I got a very worn tensioner out. So it was a very good thing to replace it, but it did not solve the problem. The squeal was still there. Next came that a suspected oil leak turned out to be a water pump. A leaking water pump. There we have it. It's in here. So I disconnected both the water pump, the alternator and the steering pump, started the engine, and the squeal was still there. So there was something else going on. And that squeal turned out to be the part that's missing here, the tensioner of the camshaft belt. So I had to replace, I have to replace the tensioner. Yeah. This car has been maintained by fools. Everybody, every car mechanic who's worth a name knows that when you are about to replace a camshaft belt, which obviously has been replaced, you should also replace the tensioner, and usually replace the water pump as well. Well, they did not. They only replaced the belt and did nothing else. So now I'm about to do the whole procedure. So it's not only the tensioner pulley that's still there, but also the water pump that's going to be replaced, the tensioner, and of course now that I'm there, I replaced the belt as well, and followed of course by the belts for the alternator and the water pump, and the belt for the steering power steering pump. I'm going to follow the procedure as described by the user manual or workshop manual, Suzuki's own workshop manual, which will include also that I have to open up the cylinder head, loosen up all the valves, and reset the valve lash when I have finished replacing the cam belt. But it is absolutely required that I have a cam belt, camshaft, sorry, that it's turning loose freely. So right now I have almost everything disassembled. The engine is still now currently resting on a tower of stones, because I had to disengage this motor support here, it's engine support. The water has been drained from the system. So well, here I go. I'm now going to take the water pump out, which will involve this, that, and there should be one more, I think, bolt under here. I can show you now. Well, I'm going to take them all loose. They seem to be 10mm heads, so quite easy. Having done that, I'll be back with you. And there we have it, one water pump out of the car. And now, of course, the next task is to clean all these flat surfaces from remaining gasket, and then install the new water pump. Hi guys, well, it's almost 2 hours into the job, and now I only have finished scraping off the old gasket. It was a tedious job to do, but okay, it's done. And when I have the stud back to place, first gonna get me a cup of coffee, and then I will install the water pump. So far so good, see ya. Hello YouTube. Well, the job is progressing quite nicely. After the long and tedious job of cleaning the surface for a new water pump, the install of the water pump itself was a straightforward one. With the water pump, the bracket for the alternator went on as well, and immediately thereafter the oil stick was retightened. So that's done. Next came this one, the new belt tensioner, camshaft belt tensioner. That one too was a straightforward fit from the book. The manual specifies that in order to tension the belt properly with the tensioner, I have to loosen up all the valves to allow the camshaft, to rotate freely. Well, so I did, but now of course I have to readjust all the valves. Of course. The manual, the Suzuki manual, specifies that I have to align the crankshaft pulley with a timing mark, and that I have to align the camshaft pulley with a mark. Of course I rotated the camshaft, having installed the belt twice, and after that I could fix the tensioner in its place. So now I am working on the valve adjustments, and it turns out, well, it's quite easy. In that 0.1 millimeter, outlet 0.15 millimeter, easy enough to be measured between the upside of the valve and the bolt, which adjusts the rocker arm. So, well, easy enough. Only the thing that you really have to take care of is that the manual assumes that you have the crankshaft in this position and not in the position with the camshaft mark upwards, pointing upwards. So at first I was mistakenly adjusting the wrong valves. Now I'm in good order. For some reason having the camshaft and crankshaft properly aligned to install the belt means that you're having piston number 4, that one, and top dead center just before the explosion strokes, ignition timing, and not with number 1 just before the ignition time. So, well, having figured that out, I think I'm okay now. I'm now going to adjust these two and these two valves, 2 inlets, 2 outlets, and then I will be back. So, end of a long day. I'm going to quit. It's almost dinner time. I think it's about, well, 6:30, almost 7 hours in the evening. I'm hungry and I'm done with today. Since the last time I buttoned up the rocker, what do I call it? Well, cover. That's it. I put the air intake back, reinstalled the PCV hose, reinstalled the ignition with the cables, and of course the whole stuff. I buttoned up the timing belt cover and installed the belt pulley on the crankshaft. Left to do 2 belts, one for the water pump and the alternator, and one for the power steering pump. Reconnect the air intake, check everything, of course, I have done, and then it will be a start attempt. So, well, in the run of tomorrow, I think quite early. This is about 1 hour, half an hour left to do. She might be running. Oh, and not forget to fill up the coolant. This is it for now. I'm going in. I'm done. The wife promised me some pizza, so that is a strong motivation to get into the house, isn't it? I will continue tomorrow. See ya.